Would you be in a foxhole with Donald Trump or in a foxhole with Kamala Harris?
He had an option to go into the foxholes, and he lied multiple times to not get drafted.
I focus on, let's get the population healthy. We got a bunch of sick people.
Well, we're not going to do it by taking away their health care. He had a lawful asylum claim. He had gone to the border checkpoint.
When you're trying to deport 20 million people, sometimes a few things happen.
Hi, I'm Luke Beasley. I'm a liberal Gen Z political commentator, and today I'm surrounded by 20 boomer Trump supporters. My first claim is MAGAnomics is terrible for the economy. You look very swanky.
Very nice to meet you.
Let's just start here, okay? Because you would agree Trump's landmark economic policy is tariff, tariff, tariff. That's like his biggest thing.
Well, let's start with the big picture. Trump has the right vision.
We'll get there. Let's just get clear. Who pays the tariff?
Okay, first of all, I'm a businessman. I do growth CFO work around the world. I got hundreds of clients. I've been 30 years of building businesses.
Beautiful.
I can tell you firsthand, the reason why many of my American companies can't get into foreign markets is because of tariff barriers.
Just because Trump always seems confused about this, who is it that pays a tariff?
Well, the importer does.
The importer.
Right.
So every time Trump says foreign countries are the ones who pay the tariff, it's not U.S. companies, he's lying.
That's true.
He's lying. Okay, good. It's weird for his whole economic policy to be based on a lie, but okay,
well, what does it do? So the tariff barriers create fair access. So it's all about fairdom. Americans, look around the room. You got some of the most talented people you will ever know in the world. We can give us a chance to compete. Level playing field, we will do the work. We will bring in the international business. Many of our jobs, with globalization, which I led, many of our jobs have gone international because of unfair tariff practices. Even when we had property in China, we had to hire a non-tariff barrier. We had to hire a Chinese spy to be in our telecom company, still in our secrets.
Okay, that's like a random anecdote. We got to go more. When you look at the impact, we've seen job growth slowing, we've seen GDP growth slowing, unemployment ticking up, employment getting worse. That's all an impact of him slapping these features. He's also tariffing, just quickly, Brazil, which we have a trade surplus with, so it's not the trade barrier reason. He's tariffing countries where it doesn't even make coherent sense because he's upset about this thing or that thing, but then we're the ones paying the consequences.
Let's be clear.
That's incoherent.
Let's be clear about impact. In the second quarter, which we just finished, in the second quarter, GDP was at 3%, which is a normal range for us. Core inflation is at 2.1 to 2.4%, which is normal for us. Unemployment down at 4%.
You agree that we saw 48 consecutive months of job growth under Biden, and then Trump came in and we lost jobs for the first time in June, I think it was.
But we agree there's 4% unemployment, which is a.
Well, he was handed 4% unemployment. You can't give him credit for that. That's what Biden gave him.
Okay.
Agreed. Biden's economy was good?
Not agreed. In Biden's economy, inflation went up. There were some years 9%.
Well, we handled it better than our G7 counterparts. That was kind of a pandemic thing.
We have $6 trillion of new foreign direct investment coming in. We have a focus on AI. We have a focus on energy. Trump has a right vision for Americans and probably people like you.
So let's talk again about his argument, right, is that we're going to bring in a bunch of domestic manufacturers, which will be more expensive. Otherwise, we would have been manufacturing here already. We sent them elsewhere because it was cheaper. And so he's saying we'll bring factories back.
You're saying you sent our jobs. You're saying you sent our jobs elsewhere. It's not the manufacturing that's important. They used to have 20,000 manufacturing companies around Chicago alone. Many of them left never to return, which are jobs for people like the people in the room and people that support you.
And the solution
that is not good for us.
Broad strokes, draconian tariffs, as shown by we're losing manufacturing. We're losing manufacturing jobs right now under Trump.
I can talk about companies I work for.
You can Google it. We'll do a fact check on screen.
The manufacturers
lost manufacturing jobs.
They have more orders they can deliver.
But those are anecdotal, not the broader stats on this.
Tell me why you're against fair trade for Americans.
Oh, I'm for that. Heck yeah. And if Trump wanted to negotiate,
then how do you get to it without doing tariffs?
If he wanted to use it as a threat, right? He goes to countries. He says, "You have these trade barriers. If you don't reduce them, I'm going to slap tariffs." That would be one thing. That's not what he did.
So you think empty threats work?
But that's not what happened. He just slapped tariffs on the whole world, including an island with penguins on it, and then started trying to make deals, but it wasn't really working. So he just started, hear this. Not very many. It was like 3 that were actual deals. And then he just started sending letters to countries with no concessions saying, hey, this is your tariff rate. So there was no concession. We still have to pay higher tariffs here. We don't get the benefits that he says we're going to get, but we get the downsides of paying higher prices.
We get them a chance to employment. The companies I work for get a chance to...
it's not working.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out.
All right, my friend, Luke, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi, Luke. How are
Luke.
you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to meet
What's your
you.
name?
My name is Rosalind.
Rosalind.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we're gonna do this with everyone. We agree
Okay.
Trump lies when he says foreign countries pay the tariffs.
You know what's interesting about that is that if they weren't paying something, why were they so hard working trying to get out of it?
China, Japan, Mr. Japan is not paying the U.S. government in tariffs, correct?
Money is coming
who?
in. Money is coming in from multiple countries. First of all, you have UAE, Saudi Arabia, Japan,
In tariffs?
South Korea
In tariffs, yes or no?
that have all come to the table to give more than
Wait,
$1 trillion
we're talking about tariffs
each.
right now. Are these countries paying us in tariffs?
I do not
what Trump says.
agree that the tariffs were the best idea. But I'll go ahead and give you that, okay?
Cool.
But all of the deals that Trump himself has made with countries that are bringing in over $1 trillion
Yeah.
to give to the
Okay.
economy,
What if-
they're going to make money off of
All
the
right.
American people. It's going to be great.
Okay, so, major point, I hear it, but let me connect two thoughts. If Trump's so willing to lie to you, saying that foreign countries pay the tariff, which he repeats constantly, which is not true, then maybe he's lying to you about how many investments are happening. Like when they try to document it on their website, the last time I checked, they were able to document like 2.6 trillion and 1.3 trillion of that was from the Biden era in foreign investments in the United States. So if he's willing to lie about the policy he screams about, such a beautiful word, tariff, then he's probably willing to lie about,
You're good.
about how many investments are happening.
Okay, first of all, these countries actually came here, made the investments, spoke to the media.
How do you know that?
This is
There's
not
no teeth
out
to
of
it.
the ether. They showed
It-
up
it
here
is.
in the United States,
Trump
South
is claiming-
Korea,
okay, let's-
Japan.
let's-
all
yeah.
of these different people. Either they got there or they didn't. And they are going to
They're made up
invest
numbers, but
trillions of dollars
they're saying
into our
to make Trump
economy.
relieve the
it's
tariffs.
going to be good.
But
there will
you
be
know-
more
I
jobs
heard you.
in
I heard
this
you. I got your point.
economy
I got it.
than what we can probably
Why are we losing
even-
jobs right now then?
You want to know
What the
something?
hell?
We were losing jobs under
We
Biden.
weren't. We had historic job growth.
No,
but
that is not
It's true. A couple things. First of all, why do we outperform every single country on the planet under Biden in our recovery from the pandemic? We saw better GDP growth, historic unemployment. And then Trump has claimed he brought in $17 trillion in investment to the United States.
Okay.
Our GDP is like 27, 28 trillion. Does that make any sense?
You
think
don't
he's about to bring that
believe
much
the
in
numbers
investments?
that Trump said, but you're quoting to me numbers that Biden said.
No.
So
If-
you want to
no,
know
no, that's not
something?
true.
If you don't
They
believe
substanti-
one, why do you believe the other?
Trump saying in front of a mic 17 trillion is different than the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I'm not talking about his words. Trump's words. Nowhere in the government have they been able to substantiate 17 trillion. Zero. They've only been able to substantiate, as I said, like 2.6, 3 trillion, and a big chunk of that comes from the Biden era. Whereas the jobs numbers can be substantiated by independent sources and are the institutions we go to for those trackers, the unemployment, the GDP, all of those things are actually mathematically substantiated, whereas Trump's big, bold claims aren't.
Do you want to know
Pause.
something?
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
you.
It's a pleasure. Luke.
Nice to meet you.
Luke,
Hello.
doing a good job over there, buddy. You're tough.
Thank you. Let's see what you got for me.
Let's go.
So you agree Trump's lying when he says foreign countries pay the tariff,
I don't say he's lying,
but he's wrong.
but I'm saying it's not the complete truth.
It's not true at all.
Because everybody is involved in who's paying tariffs. Ultimately, it's the companies doing business, but then ultimately it ends up with the consumer. So I have some good feelings about tariffs. I have some not so good feelings. But what I like about it is he's stirring up the pot. He's stirring up the conversation. And what I like about that is he's got the world
What?
talking.
Stirring? I
Yeah.
don't want to stir if I have to pay
Oh,
more.
I do.
Stop
Oh,
stirring.
I do.
You want to pay more?
I want to stir it up.
You want to stir it up.
Absolutely.
You want,
I like
to
the
lose
world.
jobs, which we have
No, I
happened
don't like
last
jobs.
month.
I don't like
We
that.
lost jobs in June for the first time since the first time Trump was president.
I don't like
All
losing
through Biden.
jobs, and I agree with you. I don't
Okay,
like losing
and-
jobs.
well,
but
then
what I
why
like
would we
is
say it's fun to
we
stir it
have
up?
to get excited about what's possible, and the future for our country and what we're calling MAGAnomics, I'm excited because it's based in capitalism. It's based in free trade. It's based in getting the world involved.
How
it's
is
based in
tariffs
bringing
free trade? That's the opposite of free trade.
it's an attachment to trade, and people are going to negotiate the number. I mean, you know the history of tariffs. It used to be this, and now it's that, and now it's becoming a new thing. But tariffs are just a part
What does
of
that mean? I don't know.
Tariffs are just a part of doing business. It's just
no.
that's
It's
all
a
it is.
trade. It's a trade barrier. It's a tax.
It can be a barrier, but you negotiate.
Well,
if you don't
wait.
negotiate in business,
Again, just so everyone knows here, in case you're next, I don't think you can never use tariffs for anything. There are certain critical
We're in
industries.
agreement.
But Trump is using them on everything, on
that's
all
one
of these
thing
countries.
that he has so many strategies.
causing-
Luke. Strategies. You need multiple strategies.
Have you met him?
AI.
Strategies.
AI. Look at AI. Look what he's doing. He's made
like
the claim.
semiconductor tariffs, that would be one thing. But instead, he's doing it
Semiconductors is a
on
good category.
Brazil
I'm glad
and
we agree
coffee.
on that. A great negotiator doesn't limit himself. He takes as much as he can and he puts it here.
Those are
and
just
then
like
we come up.
floating fun
Negotiations
words.
are real, bro.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, they're real.
He's not
If you
negotiating
don't
with most of the countries. He's sending letters with just, this is your tariff rate. And then we pay more for it.
Okay, tariffs is one thing. Let's move on to something else.
That's his main thing. Okay, well, let's go next to, I think, demand side economics, where you really invest in communities that need it and are going to be the quickest to spend that dollar, is a much more effective way to stimulate the economy, as opposed to like supply side trickle down economics.
Demand? I'm all for demand economics.
And Trump is doing the most trickle down, insane redistribution of wealth from the bottom to the top with his big, beautiful bill.
No.
The largest cut to
No.
Medicaid ever, nearly $1 trillion
we
over
need
a
to
decade.
trim things. We need to tighten things.
Wait. He lowered
Look,
taxes.
I'm on Social Security, bro. You think I don't worry about this?
He lowered
I worry
tax
about
rates
this.
for the richest Americans.
I'm for that. I'm
While
for
he's
that
taking
because
money
they're
from the
ones,
poorest Americans?
Because the richest people are business owners, and they're who are creating jobs. Without jobs in America, Luke, you know this.
You
Without
just-
a job, Luke, in America,
Yeah.
without a job, you have nothing. You have no shot at anything.
Right.
It's the most important
Which
thing.
ripping away funds to critical programs hurts
This is a
people's community.
capitalist-
They now have less money. They have less
We gotta
ability
tighten. We
to
gotta
spend
tighten up.
money
We gotta
in their
tighten up.
community.
We
Wait,
give too
no,
much
just,
out.
shh. Let's just
Too
focus.
much.
Let's just focus.
Did you
Let's
just
just
shush
focus.
me, Luke?
I did.
Come on,
I
that's
apologize.
disrespectful.
I apologize.
All right,
Okay.
you're forgiven.
I apologize. But
Shushing me. Get out of here.
but do you agree? Let's just focus.
Okay, I'm focused.
At the same time, he did one of the biggest giveaways to the wealthiest 1%. He's also, which is increasing our debt. He's also cutting Medicaid. So it's not about tightening up because he's increasing the debt with these tax cuts for the rich.
Medicaid.
And he's cutting Medicaid. That's not
can
tightening
talk-
up.
I
It's
can-
expanding,
I can
but for the
talk-
rich.
I can talk about Medicaid. Medicaid has been taken advantage of.
You slapped my hand.
By, well, I hope it's okay. Medicaid has been taken advantage of. People are getting Medicaid. They don't deserve Medicaid. They don't qualify for Medicaid. It's not okay. So I like it.
wait.
I like that he trimmed Medicaid.
$1 trillion
I support
over
that.
a decade is going to cut a bunch of people who do rely on it, who aren't
Well,
scammers
we
or
need
fraudsters.
to get them
That's
healthy.
just mathematically
we
true.
need to get them healthy. I focus on let's get the population healthy. We got a bunch of sick
Well, we're
people.
not going to do it by taking away their health care.
Well, let's put the money into
What?
fitness and health programs. I like that.
He's not doing that. He's
I like
giving it to rich people.
No, programs to get you healthy.
I
not
know.
heal you
One
after
way
you're
you can
sick.
stay-
Pause.
No.
This is the best you got, bro. Come on, Luke.
Hello.
Oh, Gene.
Gene, nice to meet you.
Okay, so about tariffs, it's actually very simple. All we have to do just look what happened before. In 1913, the only money coming into United States was from tariffs.
What
we
happened
had no
after
income.
1913?
Yeah, something bad happened,
Yeah.
but not because of that.
Okay.
The tariffs was bringing so much money that we could was able to buy the land. We could borrow the money to other countries. Everything was fine. Then there was a creation the financial system.
Okay.
Now,
well,
but the history has
Yeah.
the facts, right? We had economy running beautifully just on the tariffs with no income
Yeah.
tax, no land tax, nothing else.
we didn't.
Why
but-
is it not going to work this time?
So we have a fundamentally different economy, and I think you have rose-colored glasses about that time. And we then went into the Great Depression not too long after
No,
that.
no.
But,
This is
but
the
let's focus. But we have a fundamentally different economy. Unless you want us to get rid of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid completely, then it's not going to make any sense for us to pretend like we can go back to a time where we had a fundamentally different tax structure. So I just because we were talking about it before, we've done a lot of tariff talk, and I think I made my point on that. I would love to hear your stance, because I thought we were populists in this room, MAGA populism, but we're okay giving huge tax breaks to wealthy folks while you're ripping away healthcare from millions of Americans, because that's an economic
What is
policy
your
to be clear
facts
too.
that wealthy getting a tax break?
Oh, that was in Trump's big, beautiful bill. Every single independent
Absolutely
analysis,
not.
trillions. It was.
Absolutely. No,
They'll put
absolutely
a fact check on
not.
screen,
Okay,
yeah.
the fact is, with the tariffs, they bring money right now in. And here's what he's proposing with the money we're going to do. The people who's going to make less than $250,000 will get paid back. People
He's not
who's
going to give that to
making-
you. I promise.
You can't see the future.
I can.
Right?
I can.
No, you can't.
I really can.
Look at my eyes. You can't. It's a
You have a
delusion.
deep sadness in your eyes.
In my yeah.
No, so I mean, okay, maybe you
Come
wait.
on, so-
maybe you wait for him to give you some paycheck, but in the meantime, he's ripping away healthcare. In the meantime, he's taking away SNAP benefits. In the meantime, he's giving huge tax
Really?
breaks to wealthy folks. That's deranged.
We just had the the biggest fraud uncover in Social Security and Medicaid, and it happened under this administration.
Under Trump?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you? What do you mean?
So,
okay.
so that's why a bunch of
So
people have to
don't-
lose their health. That's not, just to be clear, my issue is that he's bloating the deficit in the debt, while he's giving tax breaks to the wealthiest Americans. If you look at independent analyses, you'll see the combined outcome of this bill, which is not a good economic policy, it's a part of his MAGAnomics thinking, the trickle-down nonsense, is that the poorest Americans lose wealth. Literally, that's the analysis. And the wealthiest Americans gain wealth.
Okay.
Okay,
Again.
pause. We're out of time.
Okay. Ah. Good to say.
My next claim is Trump is an authoritarian threat to democracy. Hello,
Hello,
Luke.
Lori Mills.
Nice to meet you, Laura.
Well, why don't you say your prompt again? And I really want you to think about your prompt.
Trump is an authoritarian threat to democracy. He doesn't respect elections. He doesn't respect the nonviolent principles of approaching our democratic process. Doesn't respect court rulings. Is degrading our democratic process in a lot of key ways.
Okay, so I want you to really think about what you're saying here. He's had 2 assassination attempts because of rhetoric that you're giving right now.
I disagree.
Charlie Kirk is dead
That was
because
horrible.
of rhetoric that you are stating right now. Don't you think it's time to take
Yeah.
down the rhetoric?
Yeah, I think
little bit?
absolutely. And I actually make an effort to lower the rhetoric, but me identifying someone's ideology and saying through peaceful means we should push back against someone's authoritarianism is exactly in line with peaceful principles. What happened to Charlie Kirk is an abandonment of all of the principles I hold dear. That was horrific. And so the way that we push back against authoritarianism, like for example, if we're saying political violence is wrong, and that's what I believe, and that's why I am horrified by what happened to Charlie Kirk, then is it not anti-democratic, not in the interest of a peaceful approach to a democratic process for Trump to pardon January 6ers?
Well, no, because a lot of
They were
their-
violent.
Not all.
No, specifically think about people
Not
who were assaulted.
all. I have a friend.
No, I don't want to hear about your friend. I'm talking about specifically violent offenders.
Well, I'm talking.
Daniel Rodriguez stun gunned an
Okay,
officer. He had a
okay,
heart
you guys
attack.
talk-
I'm asking, is it correct that there were people who assaulted police officers violently who got pardons, and are you okay with that?
Yes, because their due process was violated when people.
It wasn't. They had
in the
their trial.
No, they didn't.
had their whole due process,
People were-
unlike the people that Trump is without
Again,
his due
are you
process.
going to let me speak?
I just
or
don't
are you just
appreciate
gonna
if you're
talk
going to
over me?
avoid.
Let
I don't
me
feel
answer
like.
you.
Well, I actually believe that we should not be violent. It sounds
I
like you're
don't
okay
think
with
that-
some people who were
No,
violent.
I'm not.
Which scares me. I think
believe
that's
in
not
the
lowering the
Constitution
temperature.
of the United States, which says that you
We should
have
have
the
peaceful
right to.
transfer of power,
I
which
believe
Trump
that
tried
you
to
have a
overturn.
right to a quick and speedy trial. I believe when you weren't a nonviolent
People?
offender,
We're
you
not talking about them yet. We can get to that
yes,
if you'd
we are.
like
We're
to.
talking
You're
about
trying
it
to
as
avoid
a
the
whole.
question I brought up.
No, you're just
which is we
trying to
brought up
talk
violence.
over me to
No,
be right.
No, you brought up
because
violence.
You, want
You brought up
clickbait.
violence specifically.
No. Okay,
And
so
I'm saying,
Ashley Babbitt, let me
like,
ask
I
you.
would
Ashley
never- I
Babbitt
would-
is dead. Do you think a 5'1",
Wait,
100-pound girl?
I would love to get to Ashley Babbitt next and discuss that case. But you
You're
haven't
not letting me
addressed,
answer your question.
Well, because
so
you're
we're
not even
getting
trying to
there.
answer my question.
Yes, I am. Because
I'm
every
saying
time I
specifically.
start, people were thrown in jail for 4 years without
Trump,
a trial.
unlike-
Brady material
Trump,
was
unlike-
withheld
you see what-
in their
Okay.
trials.
It sounds like
So
you aren't willing to acknowledge. It
it
would
sounds
be
like
an
you're not
hours-long,
willing to
hours-long
acknowledge that
conversation.
people were
It would be an hours-long
unfairly
conversation
mistreated.
if we want to get to each individual case.
And for
I'm
you to
saying
say, let's get
Trump
back to the
specifically
prompt.
pardoned. Yeah, the prompt is Trump is authoritarian threat to democracy.
Okay, so Joe
One of
Biden
the things-
pardoned murderers.
That's Joe Biden. I'm
You were
talking
okay
about,
with that?
He did. He
You're
removed.
okay with that?
Wait,
Was
wait,
he-
I'd love to-
Pause.
he removed people off death row, which is different.
If you've been voted out by the majority, please return to your seat.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. Hello.
Hi,
What's your
I'm
name?
John.
John, nice to meet you.
Your
That's a
name
good
is?
handshake.
Thank
Luke.
you.
Luke is my name.
Luke. I'm sorry.
So what do you think of that? Where do you disagree?
Several places. First off, you're saying that Trump is a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
Do me a favor and define that better for me.
Yeah, I think if you don't respect key democratic principles, like, so we don't get caught up, I'd love to, but on January 6th, the entire time, we could shift to him threatening media companies, which is not in the interest of, I think if you're doing things against like the First Amendment, that wouldn't be very in the interest of our democratic process. And so
Okay.
lately, I'm sure you've kept up with his FCC investigating and threatening media outlets that say stuff that Trump doesn't like. Trump recently said that protesters, literally who screamed at him at a restaurant, should have RICO cases brought against them. I'm sure people are rolling their eyes because they don't believe that's true. You can find the clip. That's completely disconnected from what we should hold dear as Americans, no?
Here's what I think about it. I think that the fundamental, the bedrock of our democracy is civil discourse.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Totally.
Okay. So when you speak over the last speaker, you're getting rid of civil discourse. You're turning a dialogue into a monologue.
No, I think it's just heated civil discourse.
It's heated civil discourse that you can explain away, but doesn't get anything done. I'm
wait.
here to understand you and be understood
Yeah.
by you. And when only you speak, we're not getting anything
Well,
done.
I'll just warn everyone, if anyone doesn't even try to acknowledge or respond to the points that I'm bringing up, to the claim I'm bringing up, then I'm going to have to stop you because we have limited time and I don't want you to just say a bunch of random stuff.
I get it.
Just like there, you brought up me interrupting when I'm talking about the president's doing. Me interrupting the last individual is a lot less consequential than Trump threatening media outlets who say things he doesn't like.
It's fundamental to our democracy.
But can you address that part? Because we're talking about Trump.
I'm talking about how we even get to a presidential election.
Okay.
We have to be able to talk to each other.
I agree. We're doing
We
it right
have
now.
to be able to listen to each other.
Yeah.
We will never know if she was going to get to her point or not because you didn't let her.
Well, sometimes if you take too long to get to a destination, I'm going to give up on it.
Okay, then I'll go to my next point. You say that Trump is a threat to the democracy. The military works for him.
Cool.
If he wanted to, he could still be in the White House from the first presidency battling with those who would follow illegal orders. And I'll bet there's a bunch of them. But didn't happen.
Wait.
He didn't even give an order because he was willing to leave the White House when he was told to.
After he assembled fraudulent electors to try to stay in power, after he tried to pressure local election officials to defraud their voters, after he riled up a mob that attacked the Capitol to try to prevent the certification, and then, after all of those illegal schemes failed, he ended up leaving because everything ran out.
And
That's
after,
like someone who attempted to murder someone, you saying it's not bad because they weren't able to do it.
and after all that, the system worked. The system prevented somebody from being that bad.
But how does that not make him bad for trying, just like an attempted crime?
I think he did what anybody would want to do, and that is cling to
Anyone?
power. Yes. It's just like the
Why did no other president deny the peaceful transfer of power like him? He was the first one. The first one.
Why did Al Gore take the hanging Chad situation
Al
all the way
Gore
to the Supreme
conceded.
Court?
Did Trump ever concede the 2020
Al
election?
Go-
Did
Al-
Trump ever concede like Al Gore did?
Al Gore
That's an important question.
I don't think
'Cause
so.
you're bringing up, no, he didn't. And that's bad, right?
Al Gore
Well,
con-
actually, I think we got into a really important place here.
and now you're talking over me.
Well, because you're bringing up Al Gore. Al Gore did the thing that Trump never did, and that's
And-
my problem.
and
You
your
don't respect
reason-
democracy if you don't
and
concede
your
elections.
reason trumps civil discourse. No pun intended.
Repeat that. What?
Your reason for talking over me
Yeah.
trumps civil discourse. Now I do intend the pun.
I think nice. I think Trump attacking media outlets, staying in power or trying to stay in power illegally after losing an election fair and square is much more dangerous than me speaking over you.
Do you
Pause.
really do?
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Good one.
Thank you.
All right.
Luke, Shane.
Shane, nice to meet you, Shane. Another good handshake.
Yes, thank you. So we'll try not to talk over each other because I've got
Can't promise
3
that.
Gen Z kids.
Okay.
So I want to hear what you're saying. I think part of the problem is we don't allow dialogue and we don't handle it correctly. We can't repay arrogance for arrogance, hatred. hatred. But the question is, Trump is a threat to democracy, correct?
Yeah.
Number one, you mentioned because of the election he wouldn't concede to.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Al Gore challenged it. Hillary challenged it in 2016.
Both conceded.
But your position is he didn't concede, he fought it. And I think what we need to do also on your side is you got to get all the facts because there are so many shenanigans and things going on. And actually, Trump supporter, I'm a policy supporter. So I look at not the person, but the policies they support.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't concede in that way, but there was so much with the voting, the Dominion system. And so that's why
I'm
on that
trying to
one.
listen, but
Okay, go ahead.
Where, let's say Kamala Harris, there are liberal voters who think Kamala Harris, there were all these fraudulent things.
Right.
And I say, hey, until that's been demonstrated in a court of law, you can't run with conspiracies. You can't say that Trump is an illegitimate president this go around because of their theories about Kamala's election.
Right.
Would it be correct for her to just start trying to, like they tried to get Pence to do when she was vice president
Right.
and she deployed the ideology that Trump was pushing, which is that she could have blocked the certification to keep Biden in power or to try to elect herself with the certification? That would have been insane, all because of theories that she had. I don't care if you felt like there were shenanigans, if you saw things on social media, it was never demonstrated in a court of law. And now Trump's the president,
Right.
and he can't find such evidence.
So my point back to that would be he eventually
agree with that?
conceded by how he handled everything. No, I don't
was
agree with
terrible.
how he
Yeah,
handled
okay.
everything. But he obviously conceded because he stepped down. And then you said,
That's not the same thing, but
okay. Well, and then also the second thing, if I'm not mistaken, is he is going after people.
Media.
If
yeah.
we had time and we talked about how many people went after him incorrectly, from Russiagate to this making up of this lies, this topic,
I don't. Let's say, even though I would obviously disagree on every single one of the examples you would cite, that those things happened, you would say they're wrong. How does that justify Trump then going after ABC or something? That doesn't make any sense.
When Jimmy Kimmel says what he said, right? And that is just totally demeaning, lying. And so obviously these people have to be held accountable.
But like CBS,
Okay.
he was blocking a merger from going through, using his government authority
Right.
to prevent a business deal from going through, to force them into making the settlement with him.
But I don't think
that's insane mafia.
But your question is,
stuff.
he's a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
Actually, America isn't a real democracy. It's a republic.
Democratic Republic.
Right. So we put people in positions of leadership who will,
A republic is a democratic system of government, guys.
based on who we elect into the office. So I don't see he's a threat to that. I think he's trying to protect that. He's allowing the people to have a voice because remember the role of government,
He's trying to protect it by
the democracy. Yeah.
by undermining democratic principles,
But for
attacking
example,
the First Amendment.
what democratic principle is he undermining?
Yeah,
What's
a
the
key
main
democratic principle is open, like we're doing here, free discourse. And whenever you start bringing these punitive lawsuits and then hurt them with your government power to
But that's-
force them into settlements,
Okay, that's
which
one
is exactly
example.
what he's doing.
One example of many different things.
When
but
he's saying he wants protesters who shouted at him in a restaurant to be having RICO cases brought against them, criminal cases for shouting,
Right.
that's not American.
Right.
That's not in the interest of a democratic discourse. And I think we
Right.
agree on that.
Yeah, again, I'm not promoting everything he does. I'm just saying your claim was he's a threat against a genuine democracy,
Well, and
but
I
he's
do
not.
think whenever he was illegally trying to stay in power, like with the fraudulent slate of electors, that's trying to,
Right.
it's fine for him to bring court cases like he did.
right.
But then after those failed, he stepped outside of our legal process and kept
But
trying to prevent,
what's-
like getting Pence to
Yeah.
reject the
Oh, yeah, I
certification.
know.
Insane.
But what's
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return
all
to your
right?
seat.
Good job, Luke. Thank you. Have a good.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Shiva,
Hi, Shiva.
and it's Luke, right?
Yes.
Which I love that it's biblical.
Oh,
so
thank you.
It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Beautiful man.
Well, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. My argument is that number one, we are not a democracy. I know that you guys say a democratic republic. First off, we're a constitutional republic. I mean, when we do,
Constitutional democratic republic.
well, you do the Pledge of Allegiance. What does it say?
A republic?
And to the
The Republic?
And what does
what
it
is a
say?
republic?
And what
wait,
is
wait,
it-
wait, wait. What is a republic?
It's a balance of power. So of the three branches.
But who places people into power?
Well, the people do, but we don't
That's
even.
the
But
it's just
again,
a representative
but we have
form of
electoral
democracy.
college vote.
Yes,
we don't
it's
even go by
just-
the popular
Yeah.
vote. But
well, then
but
he's a threat to our republic. But by the way, republic is a representative form
constitutional
of
republic.
democratic.
You know, this
That
is
is what
where
that is. You can
this
Google
is
it.
the first lie. So there's even a lie in the question. That's why it's hard for me
What's
to argue
unfortunate
a lie
is you can
in the
go
question.
Google after this is over, and what you're saying is incorrect because we live in a democratic system, and that system is a representative
Well, it's not
republic.
even democratic when you've got all these liberal states that don't allow us to present an ID to vote. Kamala Harris won. in this-
Kamala. You have to know the pronunciation
No,
right now.
I'll say what I'll call her what I want to call her. Okay. She only won in states where there's no voter ID laws.
Okay.
How is it a democracy when you didn't even get to pick your presidential candidate? How is that a democracy?
We did. There were primaries.
No, there wasn't.
And then
no, they installed
No, you're
her.
right. The parties
they
are an
installed
organization.
her.
The parties are an organization, and then they can choose their candidate. I disagree. I would love to make sure every single Democratic primary is very, very democratic, but I would love to focus because that's a whole other interesting topic. You said your point. Do you have a defense of? I guess you're saying do you not care because you don't think we live in a democracy? That would be strange to me.
No, we're
Or-
in a constitutional republic because it's not the 51% that tells the 49% what
All
to
right,
do.
all
That's
right.
mob
Go-
rule.
go Google later.
And
What's
look
this
at
one?
if the mob
But-
wants to kill this person, innocent person, they would
Yeah,
die
that's an
in
absolute
a
democracy. You're right. We don't live in an
and
absolute
we don't want
democracy,
that.
but we have a representative republic governed by the Constitution, which is a democratic system. But
And
whatever.
we're not even equal branches
So,
of
do
government
you
either.
believe-
That's another
Whatever
lie.
you feel, are you okay with what I've been bringing up before? Him ignoring due process.
And no, he's not. Okay, I have 4 friends that were locked
He-
up. Let me finish.
Oh, gosh.
So the 4 friends. Now one of them.
Yeah, I'm
took-
not going through
okay,
that.
Let me
I'm
just
not going
no,
through that.
Let me finish
Are you
what I'm
okay
saying.
with someone who
No.
violently assaulted a
Someone
police officer
was breaking the
being
window of the
pardoned?
Capitol, and that was an Antifa member. You can even hear the crowd saying Antifa, Antifa.
Oh, no.
Did the fake media show that? No, my friend was the one. Ed reached up and pulled the guy
Okay,
out,
so then-
out of the Capitol, and
You're
guess which
saying a
one
lot of
went to
things.
jail?
Let's say they're Antifa.
So-
then why did Trump
What
pardon the
happened to
Antifa?
No, they didn't pardon Antifa. They
Who were the
par-
people violently assaulting police officers then?
No, there was
Who were
one
those
guy.
people?
There was
One
one
guy?
guy that got a taser, and I was not okay with
What
that.
about
I
beating
don't.
people with flagpoles? What about stomping on a police officer's head?
Oh, I didn't never saw that.
Oh, really?
Okay?
Dempsey, David Nicholas Dempsey.
I don't know about that. I never saw it.
But
so I never
those
saw that. I
people,
saw
are you
4
okay with-
people
if
that
we're
died
gonna
that
have-
day, and they were
if
patriots.
we're gonna have-
and no media said that that was true.
It is not in the interest of democracy for violence to be how we go about. The reason I'm opposed to people trying to assassinate Trump, the guy who assassinated
I'm
Charlie Kirk,
against
all of that
violence, too.
is against our peaceful democratic process. So is giving a reward to people, honoring people in a sense, by pardoning them specifically. Then we can
They
move on to the other
didn't
people.
get due process. They were locked
Oh
up.
my
They
gosh,
didn't
they
get to
were.
present. No,
They-
I'm not going to go by the fake media that has
The
lied to
fake
us
media?
over and
what
over.
about the video of someone
Over-
boom, boom, boom onto
Yeah.
a police officer's
and,
head?
And I don't know who that
Why
was.
can't you just
but
say
it probably
if Kamala
was
Harris-
an Antifa member
if
because
Kamala-
those
if
people
Kamala
admitted
Harris
that they were paid
pardoned-
to do that.
Wait, if-
okay, I know. You know what?
That's not true.
I ran
If
a
Kamala
rally
Harris-
in Beverly Hills, and I had a detective that was watching over me. He gave me a picture of Antifa
I'm
saying
sure.
that they're going to look like us.
It's
and you
crazy
know what?
that no
I
evidence
posted
has
it
ever
on
been brought forward
Facebook,
of that,
and they
but
said it was
okay.
misinformation when I got it
well,
directly
it was.
from the
But
Beverly Hills police
let me
station.
just
So-
focus.
no, you don't
Let's
tell me what to
imagine.
do. See, people like you like to control people like me.
Pause.
Oh my gosh.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please
Okay.
return to your seat.
Nice meeting you.
What are you doing? I'm Mark Brannon.
Mark, it's a nice voice.
Yeah, it's useful. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll be useful today.
Yeah.
In this kind debate where we respect each other and everything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anyway, my point about Trump being a threat to the democracy is that when Trump lost the election, even though he thought that there was voter fraud and had what he had considered evidence of voter fraud and tampering and all that, he still left office. He left the office, and when he left the office, his own actions demonstrate that he will not defy the election results. So he did willingly leave office. An insurrection is when you go to overthrow an elected official in office, such as a president, like when they overthrow people in other countries, to get rid of dictators. You agree, right?
Do you know what the fake electors scheme was?
Yeah, I know of it, yeah.
So after he lost his court cases, then he tried to get people who weren't the lawful elected electors to fraudulently claim themselves to be so that Mike Pence could pretend those were the real ones and then he could stay in power. It is true that he ultimately left office. People were talking about, is Secret Service going to have to rip him out? Is the military going to have to? We can't say just because someone fails at something, it's not bad that they tried it.
Well, I mean, I could say this, like right now, he's a legally Democratic elected president right now.
True.
And I promise you, when his term is up, no matter what, and someone else wins, he's going to willingly leave that office. Now, people say that he started an insurrection. An insurrection is not what happened that day. It was a protest against what everyone felt was voter fraud.
And then it got really
and then
violent.
the left throws this rhetoric out that he's an insurrectionist, and it's not even the definition
I actually
of it.
didn't use that word here, but no one's answered the question he just recently said, and I'm going to bring it back up. And I hope that if Biden or Kamala said this, you would find it outrageous. People were screaming at him in a DC restaurant, and he was sitting in the Oval Office reflecting on it, and he said, I've asked Pam Bondi to bring RICO cases against people like that, people who are peacefully protesting, shouting, in the vicinity of the president.
Well,
That's
no,
bad.
no,
We just agree, right?
No, look, I agree. Look, I'm a guy
That's
that
bad,
just
okay.
did 23 years in a penitentiary. I just got out. I did 11 years in isolation. So I know what it's like to be on that side of the law.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when people are at a restaurant, and this is the United States, we're supposed to be civil. We're supposed to have a moral compass. Do you think it's right that people are allowed?
Where are we
Do
going?
you think it's right that people can stand in a restaurant, a public place, and scream and yell?
Yes.
That really?
The restaurant,
you don't know what disturbing the peace is?
restaurant owners,
That's disturbing
the
the peace
restaurant
by
owners
definition.
would have the right to remove them. The attorney general doesn't have the right to lock them up because they raised their voice
No, for
near
sure.
the
No,
president.
for sure. I'm going to agree.
Okay, good. Then we're on the same page.
Sometimes
That's
he
bad.
will go
Pause.
off course.
We're out of time.
Oh, it's going well.
Yeah, it was cool.
Appreciate that.
All right, nice to meet you.
My next claim is Trump supporters are not patriotic. Oh, she's back.
Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
Let's not talk over you. I'm willing to listen to you if you're willing
Okay.
to listen to me.
All
Deal?
right. Deal. Maybe.
Okay. So you say that Trump supporters are not patriotic.
Yeah.
You're 23 years old. Did you ever consider joining the military?
No, both my brothers do, but I agree. There are people who do very patriotic things, but the ideology itself, maybe better said, is not a patriotic ideology.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, it's actually what we've been talking about a lot, which is that I think undermining our democratic or our republic values, I think that attacking our democratic institutions, attacking free speech, none of that's patriotic. I think
Well-
covering up the Epstein files is not patriotic.
Okay, so let's go there. You brought up the Epstein files. Who's Les Wexner?
Tell me.
Well, it seems that I've been looking into the Epstein files for about 7 years. You were probably about 14 years old. Yet you guys don't know anything about the case.
I have no interest in connecting it to anybody. I'm saying
Only Trump.
that no, Trump's the president, and Trump is currently being asked by even people like Marjorie Taylor Greene to be transparent, release everything. Let's both say nothing's bad about that.
No, I've been
in
trying
Trump.
to get them released for 7 years.
Well, credit to you. So then,
Yes.
do you agree that to me it's not American patriotism for him to push back against that for so long?
Well, I think the thing is
Yeah.
he knew that the Democrats were going to try to turn this and make it about him.
Wait,
And I
release
can
it, then
tell
they
you
can't,
that
right?
You said you'd let me talk, so let's do this. The
Okay.
defense attorney
10
of
seconds.
Virginia Giuffre, who basically said that Donald Trump was the only one that helped with the case.
Okay.
Suddenly,
So,
you guys
great.
want to use it
No,
as
no,
a talking
You don't know.
point.
You don't know anything out. You made your point. Now let me make mine.
Okay.
Let's assume everything you're saying is absolutely correct.
It is.
Great. Why won't he release them? Then it
He actually
silences
is trying
Democrats.
to. An Obama judge has blocked a lot of the files.
See,
That is
do you know
totally
about
true.
the case?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
the grand
I
jury
100%
documents.
do.
Nothing is new in the grand jury documents.
You know, can you agree that there is definitely people that were very powerful in institutions
Yep.
that did not want to be exposed, that did very evil thing with
Mm-hmm.
children? Now, the thing is a lot of this evidence, and I hate to say it, is destroyed. I hate to say it. There were
Release it.
cameras
Release
and film and
We're on the
videos
same
in
page.
every single one of these rooms.
We're on the same page.
Can we agree?
It's a little weird.
No, it's not.
Little sussy.
No, it's not.
That he's calling
no, it's
up.
Not.
He's calling up. The White House is calling up Republicans and saying this is a hostile act if you sign on to the discharge petition.
No, it's not.
to
He
get
said
released.
release everything.
Out loud, but then he's calling people saying it's Marjorie Greene.
you have
you think
proof of that
Marjorie
he's-
Greene is lying about Trump?
I haven't seen him say that.
Okay.
I've not seen discharge papers, so I can't speak
Well,
to
that's
that.
what's being debated
But
right
what
now.
I can say that I will agree with you on, I don't like that he's calling it a hoax.
Cool.
I will agree with you on that. Now, with
Okay,
President...
pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
I think I did better.
We
letting you
did do
talk.
better.
Yeah,
but look,
we did better.
Let's talk. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't believe I got to meet Harry Sisson. Goddamn pleasure. It's a
He's
joke.
he's a good buddy of mine.
You're much more likable than Harry Sisson.
Oh,
Let me
no,
tell you that.
stop it.
You are. You're
Stop
charming.
it. Oh, stop.
What do you
I
do?
like your bandana.
Oh, thank you. I had to wear it during the lockdown because Biden was so patriotic. He shut down the country.
Who was president in 2020?
I believe Donald Trump was.
Yeah.
I remember. The stuff goes.
Yeah.
And he used Operation Warp Speed. And let me point something out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and cite facts because I spend a lot of the day drinking.
Fact
But what I'm
schmacks.
going to say is that in 2020, Trump was president,
Yeah.
correct? And he rushed the vaccine to the market, the vaccine, and then we'll get to Epstein. And I know it was.
We don't have to go there. I just want to talk about.
I didn't have to go there
It's
either.
not
What an
patriotic.
island. But what I'm saying is, thanks for getting
funny.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're doing great yourself. In 2020, a lot of people get confused that Trump rushed the vaccine to the market to try and save the left from stealing the election, and we won't get into that. And he said, here's the vaccine.
False.
And because, false? He didn't rush it to the market?
Election wasn't stolen. Okay.
Oh, okay. In 2020, okay, he rushed it to the market and he said, here's the
What is
vaccine.
this? What are you talking about?
He rushed
Okay.
okay, we're getting to this, right?
That was good.
Rushed the vaccine to the market.
Yeah, awesome.
Did he mandate it?
No.
Very good.
Ish.
No, he did not ish. He said,
No.
here's the vaccine because
Wait.
he's so patriotic. We're getting to that.
Wait.
He said, you are free to get the vaccine
No.
or you're free to not get the vaccine.
Hey.
But let's open up the effing country. I'm not going to say in front of this kid. Thank you. So once the country got opened
Okay.
up, then Biden came in because he's so patriotic. He said, you get this vaccine or you lose your job.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's
That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
What didn't happen? Please tell me what did not
That
happen.
didn't happen. Yeah.
What didn't happen?
Yeah. There were restrictions on the federal level. None of them were like vaccine or jail. None of them were job or jail. It was either testing.
Did he just say
hey,
none of them? I can't believe this.
hey, the ones you're talking about had exceptions where you could do testing at a certain frequency
Testing?
or
A
vaccination.
PCR testing?
It's
Who
true.
invented that? Don't ask him. He's dead. I
It's
wonder
true.
why. Are you out of your MIT
Okay,
brain?
now I feel like I've let you go on, completely unrelated to what I was saying, and you misstated even what a mandate
What
was.
did I
But that's
misstate?
okay. I
What's
just
a
explained it
mandate?
to you. There were two options, but you don't understand. That's fine. Let's
What
get back to
don't I
the core of the
understand?
matter. I just said you could either, with the job requirements you're talking about, there would be testing options as well if people weren't getting the vaccines. If individual employers, it's just true. It's just true. Are
you listening to
If
this?
individual employers
Did you read the
wanted
papers?
to,
All the
okay.
people that are getting
All right.
their jobs back and
All
back
right,
pay for being forced out
Those
of their
are
job.
federal government workers. Yes, the federal government has a right to say you have to get certain vaccines. The military's done that all the time with a bunch of vaccines, for
Yeah,
example.
okay.
And that's perfectly
How about the
acceptable.
nurses that are
for the
winning
sake of
these
public health.
lawsuits
But
against
let
places
me,
for getting
okay,
fired?
great. Let me go on so that we don't do a whole vaccine debate because I know you're a little off the rails on that. But
That's
I
how
want-
daddy do.
Good. I do want to ask, you've heard a lot of the debates we've had, which has built my argument about the lack of patriotism in supporting Trump. And that is not accepting election results. That is going after
Not
media
accepting
companies
what?
that doesn't like election results. Going after
How did he
media
not
companies
accept
that
the
he doesn't
election
like.
results? He
that
left
is
office.
Ignoring court
And let me
orders.
ask you something about January 6th, the insurrection. Let's say that I'm Donald Trump, okay?
Great.
Let's say that you're Joe Biden, okay? And let's say that people think you stole the election. Let's say you did hypothetically. Okay. Let's say you stole the election and we go to that January 6th thing,
Yeah.
and I think it's stolen. Don't I want that process to go through? Don't I want that to go through so we can validate the election?
Wait,
if
wait,
it's
wait,
stolen,
wait,
who
wait.
wants to stop it?
Okay.
The people that stole it.
All right.
And then I'll add one more thing and I will yield my time to the floor.
Okay.
Okay? Then if it's an insurrection,
Yeah.
how come the only gun we saw was the guy that blew away Ashley
Okay.
Babbitt?
There were guns.
Because we can bring guns.
There were-
because in a patriotic country, you have the Second Amendment. I can't look into your beautiful eyes. That's why I keep looking away. Go on.
Okay, so a lot of that was just gibberish. I apologize, but there were guns actually in the crowd. But it's okay. You don't believe that. That's fine. And you keep throwing around insurrection,
Talking about
insurrection. It's not true that the process going forward required people to storm the Capitol. The process
Storm?
was
They were
supposed to-
allowed in.
That's not
How
true.
did they get through the two-ton rotunda
You're
doors?
not listening. What Trump was trying to do
Sorry, Harry.
was to get Mike Pence to not certify the lawful election results. We're going to keep going through this. None of y'all can defend that because none of you would want to admit that a Democrat would have that power. Let's focus on that and see if you can defend it. Do you think if Kamala Harris, after they lost the election, would have the power to reject the lawful certification of the electors like Trump wanted Pence to do, which was why people said, hey,
But
Mike
didn't they
Pence
do that in
rejected.
2016 as well? They're
Focus.
always...
They didn't. They literally didn't. Joe Biden certified as vice president Trump's victory.
Right.
right?
Okay.
Okay. Mike Pence was being pressured by Trump, which is why people stormed the Capitol. Trump was posting out, oh, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what he had to do, which was reject the certification of the electors.
He didn't get the chance to anyway. Because the FBI, who may or may
Where?
not have been there,
What it
because
is?
the FBI didn't
Hey,
confirm it.
Hey, you're not hearing me.
What?
Do
That's an
you
old joke,
agree
sorry.
that Kamala Harris would not have had the power to reject the lawful certification of the election, that that's a ceremonial role whenever Trump won? Yes, you do.
I'll agree with that wholeheartedly because it doesn't matter
then why
because
was
no one
Trump,
does it.
Then why? Trump tried to get Pence to do it. That's why people were screaming, hang Mike Pence.
Yes, and Mike Pence didn't do it because they interfered with the process, and I think that was the FBI.
Huh?
I'll say it again. Mike Pence, even if he wanted to do it, and he didn't, and that's why the second time in office where Trump is in the second time, because he left peacefully the first time, he knew who his enemies were, and that's why Pence is not back. And that's why Vance is back. And one more thing, Vance was going to run with Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, but they assassinated him.
Which was terrible.
Because the left is the party of violence and hatred.
We're talking about January 6th.
I know, but I get carried away.
You just justified. You just did.
What?
What Trump wanted Pence to do. You said, I guess there was a Fedsurrection to prevent Pence from rejecting.
I didn't say it definitely was. I said it doesn't matter.
But Pence, it does matter.
It doesn't matter.
This is the epitome of a lack of patriotism, is to not accept the free and fair election results.
But
that's my whole point.
It went through anyway. You could say all you want. But whether you're saying he wanted Pence to do it, which he never got the chance to, because the Fedsurrection, I like that. I'm stealing that bit. Oh, that's gone.
I've talked to a lot of y'all. I know. Oh, it's nice.
Prevented it. So we can sit there and say, well, Trump was definitely going to do it. And yet here Trump is back. Here Trump's back in office.
It's just like, it's like you're verbally barfing all over me. Ugh.
That costs extra.
Disgusting.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out.
He's back. He's back. And you never left. That's cool.
I know. So you agree. You agree with everything I said. Rejecting late results, bad. Attacking free speech, bad. Not releasing the Epstein files, bad. Not patriotic. Cool, good.
You enjoy framing the argument in terms that you know you've practiced and you can win.
No, I've never
I'm
practiced
here
this.
to submit something else. Thomas Jefferson said the tree of liberty must from time to time be watered with the blood of tyrants and patriots.
That doesn't sound very peaceful. You just got onto me for interrupting you.
My point is what we've got going on here,
John?
this democratic experiment
I don't want blood of anybody.
is messy. And it's supposed to be, because you got intelligent, strong-willed people who are capable of formulating their own opinions. And sometimes that means that you talk over people. Sometimes that means that conservatives have to
Attack
endure
police
the
officers?
slings and arrows of outrageous leftists because it's messy and it's supposed to
And
be.
sometimes a Democratic former Speaker of the House of Minnesota gets murdered by a Trump supporter, right?
Awful.
It's terrible, terrible.
Awful.
Sometimes people violently attack police officers to try to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Awful.
Awful.
January 6th, awful.
And sometimes
Okay, good.
people lay
Not
on their
patriotic.
Sometimes people lay on their bellies from 200 or 300 yards away so they can get a shot at the president or Charlie
Awful.
Kirk.
Awful.
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 And sometimes
But what is-
sometimes people get on YouTube and dance about it.
Awful.
Awful.
See, I'm principled. I actually don't like violence, but y'all seem to justify violence a lot.
How?
I've just had like 12 conversations with people like, well, maybe assaulting police officer, well, maybe it wasn't that person, and maybe it was actually Antifa, and maybe it was actually
I don't
Fed.
recall anybody over here putting their hands up on their heads and saying,
I'm
well,
saying
maybe.
the words. They're justifying it by not just saying, just like murdering Melissa Hortman, just like murdering Charlie Kirk, just like trying to murder Donald Trump, acts of political violence to further a political goal is bad. And I'm against it across the board. Many of you are not when you justify what happened on January 6th.
Forgive a sports analogy. Imagine a football field. Most of America's on the 50-yard line. Republicans on the right 40-yard line. Democrats on the left 40-yard line. Personally, over my life, I'm 67. During my lifetime, I've gotten dragged back to maybe the 30, 35-yard line. Leftists have run away with the Democratic Party. You guys are in the end zone on your way out of the stadium.
I had a really good snow cone the other day. That was as relevant as what you just said.
It illustrates everything.
Why are you justifying January 6th? That's what
I'm
you're
not
illustrating?
justifying January
Okay,
6th.
cool. Well, then that's not patriotic.
Yes, it is.
January 6th isn't.
Because people on the right are closer to the middle. In order for people who are still in the middle to come over to me, they don't have to sacrifice their core values.
You don't have to sacrifice anything if you come to my side.
In order for people to go to the left,
There's nothing.
that requires a total mind wipe. Who's going to submit to that?
Wait, why?
Especially when they
wait,
can
wait, wait.
tell their minds are being wiped.
Why wouldn't people want to peacefully participate in policy making that implements solutions for working class Americans, invests in infrastructure, invests in increasing wages, expands our healthcare system? Those are my principles.
Because it's up to individual thought. It's a quaint custom. It's called independent thought.
You're not even.
And
You're just saying random things.
What I'm saying is that people agree with
My
you.
mom's a really nice person.
I agree. I
Cool.
don't even know.
Why are we saying random
she
stuff?
raised a
Okay,
good guy.
pause.
I'll tell you why.
Pause. Pause. You've been voted out.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I disagree with your statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to talk about January 6th. I mean, we can go there if you want later.
Okay.
But this idea that Trump supporters are not patriotic, and we can talk about the ideology.
Yeah.
Trump's first term, he ran on closing the border,
Okay.
building the wall
Okay.
to protect our country. The tariffs that he's putting in now to protect our country, to protect workers, to protect why other countries are charging us tariffs. We're
Yeah.
not charging them tariffs.
Yeah.
He's putting in the
are
policies that
charging
he.
it. We are
that
charging.
We're now we are
doing
now
tariffs.
we're charging them after
And a lot of the
they-
countries we're tariffing don't have trade barriers on us. But okay, keep going.
they do have trade barriers.
A lot of
on
them
us.
don't. But okay, keep going.
Free speech,
Yeah.
censorship. You talk about the media,
Yeah.
him blasting the media.
Insane.
When
Like, hurting them.
who was the first? He was the first one to get suspended off of Twitter at the time.
That was a private
They
company.
took
Different. The government explicitly threatening to remove the licenses of networks they don't like, to force them into broadcast changes, is explicit censorship.
I do not believe
Whereas
that to be true.
Private companies going, whoa, he incited January 6th, we're going to ban him, is a very, you can
That
disagree
was
with it.
before
but
January
very
6th that they
different.
took him off.
Very
and now
different.
we know that it was the White House
It wasn't. It wasn't.
that was
It wasn't. But-
telling Twitter what to do.
So you agree?
It was. The
wasn't.
CIA was totally in on all
that's not
the
true
on
at
all the
all.
media.
But-
It is true.
Okay.
We're
we
in
don't-
an
we disagree.
information
But
war,
I
and
understand.
your information
Okay,
is wrong.
but I do
I'm
disagree.
listening to you,
I
and
disagree.
it's like, what
Yeah.
planet are
Well,
you living
all right,
on?
well, let's-
What country, and where are you getting your news? Oh, I know. YouTube. You're listening to Sisson. You're listening to your echo chamber.
My
You
only
are
source of
not
information, Terry Sisson. That's true.
That's there. That's the problem.
Okay.
That's it. We got the
there
answer.
it is. But let's assume your premise, even though it is wrong, but we apparently
Well,
have a
I'm
big
wrong,
disagreement
okay.
on that. But let's assume that Biden did things you didn't like when it comes to free speech. Why would that justify Trump then trying to censor his critics?
What is he censoring his critics?
I just explained
This
to
is
you.
the FCC.
He's-
They want to have a huge merger with ABC. It's the largest merger in the history of the
And they're
country.
making incumbent on that
And do you
changes
know,
of
and so
who
you
gets to
want
be
have
on
a
their
big
network?
one person that owns the entire network, so that person can tell
Wait, do you
everybody
hear
what
what
to
you're?
say.
Do you hear what you're justifying?
They are trying to
That
make
Trump-
sure that it's not one
Trump-
person that owns every single piece of media. Because guess
No,
what happens
okay.
when that happens?
You were
Monopoly.
criticizing. Yes, exactly.
So he doesn't want a
Okay,
monopoly.
He's actually making a requirement, ABC making changes that Trump wants, and then he's going to approve that merger.
Are you sure it's
Brendan
what
Carr,
Trump wants?
Brendan
Oh, the
Carr
head of the
explicitly
FCC?
said that he was open to raising that cap. That's like a
Right.
monopoly
They were
prevention.
open to it.
And then he went, I'm really upset though now with ABC for what Kimmel said. And then,
Okay, so when Tucker
now,
gets fired,
and then,
that's
wait,
fine.
Yes,
When
the government didn't force that. And then let me give you another example.
How do you know?
With CBS.
How do you know?
Because he wasn't out there screaming it in public on Benny Johnson's show.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Rose. What's your
Rose.
name again? Luke.
Luke.
Nice to
What? My name's Luke, everybody.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So,
Oh wait.
what do you
Let
wanna
me
say?
start.
Go
Okay.
for it.
How do you define patriotism?
I think it's loving what our Constitution stands for, loving what our democratic principles should stand for, being opposed to authoritarian regimes abroad, not trying to cozy up to them or apologizing for them like what Trump does with Putin.
Okay, and that's it for patriotism, right?
Those are some key
your
parts of it.
ideology.
Yeah.
Okay, so my ideology is patriotism is about all of us coming together and stopping this constant discourse. Everybody's getting angry over just left and
Part of
left
America
and right.
is the argument. That's beautiful.
But there's no agreement. We should be working together. I think the thing I was watching something, and there is an organization that wants us divided. They make a lot of money off of it. It's called
Fox
PSYOPs.
News. Oh, yeah.
So in order for the Americans to get back together, we have to stop all of this basic nonsense
Yeah.
and noise.
So, like, let me give you an example. I don't take every word that Biden or Kamala says as truth. Whereas it seems like, based on a lot of things y'all bring to this table, if Trump says, I brought $17 trillion, or if Trump says the election was stolen, or if Trump says it's okay to pardon the January 6ers, y'all just take it. You just totally believe it. And that makes it hard for us to come to some understanding because we're not debating over facts, but just what you heard from Trump. And I don't think believing him over the truth is very patriotic either.
So let me give you this. I used to be on your side, okay? I was, no thanks. I couldn't believe what I've seen under the Biden administration.
Like what?
I don't believe castrating children. I don't believe cutting off their breasts.
Yeah.
I don't believe in pronouns. I don't believe in that kind of cult ideology. You're turning, let me finish.
Okay.
So what Trump is doing now, Trump is doing now is trying to get us back to the America that we were proud of.
Yeah, so I don't see
Not this ideology that has nowhere.
So you were talking about the psyops. You know what's a psyop?
Yeah.
Is getting you this fixated on what is impacting an weensy, tiny population. And
what do you mean?
Try to name what Biden did.
What do you mean by incy?
You were talking
weensy?
about the trans issue and
That's
pronouns.
one issue.
Biden, what did Biden do on that subject?
I don't know. What did he do?
Nothing.
He did nothing.
Have you ever heard Biden ever be like, listen, folks, castrate your children? No. It's
No,
never
but
happened.
Kamala did.
And Kamala didn't either. She
yes,
never
she did.
But I would like to point out to you, you're right now supporting a guy who has literally just signed into the law the greatest, which I don't see this as patriotic either, redistribution of wealth from the bottom to the top. It's like reverse Robin Hood. And while it is, look it up afterwards. While he's doing that, you can see, just since people are murmuring, you can look at the independent analyses that show you how much wealth is gained by the top and how much is lost by the bottom. And while he's taking away our wealth, our well-being, making us pay more in tariffs, he promised to lower grocery prices on day one, such an old-fashioned word, groceries, he would say, and he didn't. They're going up, energy's going up. All these things are happening, but guess what he gets you to focus on?
And how long has he been in office?
3.5.
How long has he been in office?
3.5 trans people in East Maine.
How long has he been in
That's
office?
the psyop.
How
Okay,
long has he
pause,
been?
We're out of time.
Damn it.
My final claim is Kamala Harris would have been a much better president than Donald Trump. Hello. What you think?
So what's your claim again?
It's Kamala Harris would have been a better president.
So
She wouldn't have done that bill I keep talking about.
Hold on. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't have done the crazy tariffs, making us pay more. She was a part of the Biden administration that saw a really strong economy recovering from the pandemic. And she would have been just kind of a mainstream, not great to me, but middle of the road, and that's much better than Trump.
okay, so we're going back to all of the stuff we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Right? So tariffs. She wouldn't have done the tariffs. I agree with you in the sense that tariffs, yes, the importer pays.
Yep.
So that's no doubt, right? But you have to ask yourself, why is it that before Trump came along, that virtually every single country in literally the world, right, for decades on end, have had tariffs on the United States?
So that's not true necessarily. Number one, I already gave the example of Brazil. We have a trade surplus with, so that doesn't make much sense to be tariffing them whenever they buy more than we buy from them. But the problem is we have the largest economy. We are the wealthiest nation. And so there's a lot of other economies that are still very manufacturing based. And so it's beneficial for us to get cheaper stuff from them. And we have more buying power. So yeah, we're going to have a trade surplus with them, but it doesn't mean anyone's being ripped off. And just the characteristics of different economies economies, require them to protect certain industries, we protect certain industries, but pretending like we're gonna isolate from the world, which is what slapping tariffs on everyone in every industry does, is economically illiterate because we have built our economic might off of global trade. If you look at the skyrocketing of US GDP, it's been tied to us having global trade in the way that we have.
So now that we're saying, okay, there are certain industries that we need to protect.
Yeah.
You're absolutely in favor for tariffs for those, right? Biden kept some of the tariffs that
Certain
Trump
ones,
put in.
yeah.
Likewise, we're falling behind on certain other industries where we produce a lot of goods, right? So why would it not make sense for us to put tariffs on?
He's not doing targeted tariffs. He's doing them broad strokes in a draconian and economically incomprehensible
The
way.
thing is, the gist of it is, I don't think any of us really understand, especially with the threat of tariffs, right? Just simply the threat of tariffs have stopped wars. We've seen that, right? We've
dispute that,
stopped
but-
conflicts. Well, I mean, we had the whole 70,000 months, support Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because he stopped the war he stopped the conflict and deaths between Thailand
Okay, so I don't know. I think we're
Cambodia.
going a little bit swerving off, but
no,
my point
tariffs
is
have more
if
impact.
they were coherent, like he argues they are, then we wouldn't be seeing the negative economic repercussions that we're seeing.
It's your
Okay,
opinion.
pause.
It's not.
Been voted out of the majority. Please return to your seat.
Hello.
How are you?
What's your name?
Michael.
Michael.
First thing I'd like to say is that I am honored to be in Surrounded's company. Charlie Kirk sat in that chair not too long ago, and I wish his wife and children nothing but the best.
Me
And I
too.
hope you would agree with that.
Totally agree.
Thank you. Make your claim, Kamala.
Oh yeah, Kamala Harris would have been a much better president.
Okay.
Because she would have had a pretty mainstream, middle of the road economists. Hundreds of economists came out before the election and endorsed the fact that her economic approach would have boosted GDP, boosted jobs, whereas Trump's, as we're seeing, would shrink jobs. A lot of
Is
shrinkage
that like
going on
it's
by
been
Trump
doing over the last
and
4 years?
GDP.
Is that what you mean? Like the economy's been doing
Like
so
investing in infrastructure, investing
Crime?
in energy projects.
What about
Oh, that's a great
halting
one to bring up. Yeah,
crime?
crime
Yeah.
dropped historically under Biden.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you drive up here this morning?
Crime.
Did you drive up here
Yeah.
this morning? Really?
Yeah.
This is a blue state?
Crime stats, right? You might bring up It was fine. It was great.
It was fine. Do you see
but-
the graffiti? Do you see the trash? Do you see the people?
Do we agree on
sleeping?
that we should at least look at crime stats, not just, well, I saw someone, a homeless person. Like, let's look at stats.
No, I don't
No, ignore
necessarily.
the stats.
No, depending on who you get your stats
Right.
from.
If it's Trump giving it, good. If it's the Biden administration,
No, not
good.
even close. And I really, being here,
It's
I really
independent.
want to understand what
Well,
your
then let me say,
mindset is and what
because
you're
I'm-
thinking about.
I'm a day- I wanna-
You dismiss the trans ideology.
I wanna-
You dismiss
wait,
that very
we're-
quickly. You
hey,
said it's
hey,
such
hey,
a small
we're not doing
percentage.
That. We're not doing that. You
Such
brought
a
up
small
crime.
percentage.
You brought up crime. We can get to that next.
We'll get
You
to
did.
credit. Got to
No,
say
you
this.
can't.
Do you
Sorry,
realize
I have
the
to.
indoctrination of
For
the
sake-
schools that's
okay,
going on and
okay.
the percentage
All right.
of children that are being
For the sake-
exposed
for the
to this
sake
crap?
of a productive-
At least acknowledge that.
For the
please.
sake, yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, I definitely asked you first to acknowledge something, and we'll do that, and then we
Okay.
can move on. So we should look at data to get a wholesale view of the state of crime in America. And what
Okay.
we saw was that homicide rates dropped at this historic clip under the Biden administration.
At what historic clip? According to who?
It got down to nearly 50
According to
years
who?
lows. Independent crime
And
analysts.
who's the independent crime?
The
What about the
FBI
government?
crime stats.
What about me walking
the
down the
FBI
street?
crime? All right, so you reject data if it disputes
Well,
your
it
view.
depends. You're not independent. What?
Independent crime analysis and the FBI crime stats, which is the same stats that Trump is citing whenever he's making.
Yeah, you know
his
what?
argument.
I'll give you that. Okay, I'll
So-
give you that.
so you
you're
can't
saying over
cite-
the last 4 years,
Because there was a pandemic or a spike that happened under Trump, and then it carried over.
which excuses what?
Wait, when Trump was president, there was a historic increase in homicide rates the last year of his presidency.
Okay.
But I'm saying I
I'll
want to
give you
be
that.
I want to be good faith to you and say, hey, there was an impact of the pandemic on that. So I'm giving him some credit by saying that wasn't all because of him. There was the pandemic.
Okay.
But
I'm not agreeing with
that
you.
then-
I'm giving you your stats. I don't agree with them, but I'm giving them to you.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
I like that shirt.
Luke.
Hey.
Thank you.
You're what's your name?
David.
David.
Yeah. Luke, as probably the oldest baby boomer here.
Nice.
I want to apologize for what we've left you.
Okay.
Because being here from California, being in the military during the Vietnam War and coming back, and we really saw free speech, being used to call us baby killers and napalm droppers, and so many veterans came home, ended up committing suicide or still committing suicide. And yet California is one of the freest states in the country. And, you know, I'm 77. So when you're 33, I'll be, what, 87? And so I'm really excited because the knowledge that you have, the charisma that you have, the wit, when you start aligning that with personal experiences, and that you'll be able to see not the differences, but unfortunately the similarities with all parties. I mean, here we are in California, a single party rule state. There's a reason that Kamala Harris
that was a new one.
Yeah, that she
Kamala, wow.
That she dropped out of the race when she first ran for president because the Democrats in California did not want her. And so all of the criticism, all of the racial slurs against me as being a Hispanic have come from individuals calling me a coconut, brown on the outside, white on the inside, a bandito, a sellout, because I'm a Republican.
Okay.
And so raising my kids here, and my daughter, who was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at 22 and has been in the Medicare system since then, had her hips replaced twice, her knees replaced twice. She's sitting at home with no knee right now. And when she voted for Barack Obama for president, she was proud to do it. When he was elected, she lost her doctor. And so I hear a lot of talk about healthcare. My focus is on treatment. I was helping a young man who was dying of AIDS. He was diagnosed with AIDS when he was 60 days clean. And I was taking him to APLA, to all the neighborhood community clinics. And this is the reason I got involved in politics, is because the neighborhood clinic that the AIDS patients were going to, they closed it because they had lack of funding. The county did that. That same week, the county gave $3 million to Disney for the concert hall downtown. Now, it's a great building, but there's many reasons that people get involved, regardless of party, in politics. And so that's why I'm saying that I'm really excited about you, because you're going to start matching some of your personal experiences with the information that you're receiving, and that's going to benefit all of us. A single party rule state like California is not working. We need to have some balance.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Thank
seat.
you, Luke. Thank you.
I got it this time. Hey, man.
Hey.
I'm James.
James, nice to meet you.
What was the claim again?
Yeah, so Kamala Harris would have been a better president. That's obvious.
Yeah, of course.
Given all the damage that Trump's doing, making the DOJ no longer independent in his prosecutorial decisions, he's sicking it. He just had this exchange with a prosecutor because they didn't want to prosecute one of Trump's political enemies. Boom, he gets rid of them. He's raising prices. He's attacking our democratic institutions, going after media outlets. He lied. He said he was going to lower prices on day one. The opposite's happening. And Kamala Harris would have, at worst, continued the Biden era. And in the Biden era, while there were plenty of problems and the whole we beat Medicare was confusing.
What's 100%, right?
Yeah, but there were a bunch of wins. There was an Axios piece written in 2024 saying the U.S. is winning the world economic war. Now it's flipped, and we're alienating our allies. We're being weakened. We're having a lot of countries, because we're being so hostile to them, cutting off trade with us, not buying as much from us. That's hurting U.S. companies. We're seeing a loss in jobs. We're seeing unemployment go up. So all those things, I think, given the Biden-Harris record, would not be happening, which would make it better.
Right. The problem that I have, though, is that you just listed off a list of things. Where do I start? How do I figure out where I differ from you in these opinions?
Yeah. Do you agree that crime went down a lot during Biden's era?
I'm not really sure. I live in Northern California, close enough to Oakland to make me concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a fun little trivia, just since a lot of people have said things about California. California has a bunch of obviously big problems.
Oh yeah.
But it's fascinating that people ignore out of the top 10 highest homicide rates. States, 8 out of 10 of them are red states, are deep red states, way worse than California.
Right, but red in California,
people act like,
or Sacramento, California is not nearly as.
I was going to say, people act like there's this really bad crime problem because of democratic governance, but on the national level, you saw Biden invest at a historic rate in law enforcement and in violence reduction.
There's got to be a lot of reasons.
You saw blue states are actually safer on average than red states.
Right, but there's got to be a lot of reasons for that. But hey, guys, I'm going to run up my way. Hey, this is the way I do things. So please allow me to paint my picture.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry about that, sir.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
I want to treat you like my favorite older brother.
Older?
But dude, you're so young. I've got a 14-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter. Come on over to the house and play Cards Against Humanity because we're a family of comedians.
Oh, nice.
Okay, pause.
Sounds dirty.
Voted out. I'm sorry.
All right.
Hey, thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Hey.
We meet again.
Hello. What are you
Okay.
thinking?
Well, the question regarding would Kamala Harris have made a better president?
Yeah.
I'd like to open up with just one question for you.
Okay.
Do you believe that when a federal prosecutor withholds exculpatory evidence, that she should be barred from ever holding public office or the bench in a courtroom?
I'm not familiar with that reference, but
May I tell
that
you
has
what-
nothing to do with.
Yeah, it does
that,
have-
that has nothing to do with how she would perform. I guess
Oh,
you're
no,
talking
it
about Kamala
absolutely
Harris.
does, because
and so
she did
I'd love
that.
to compare the record between what Kamala Harris did and would do, did in Biden's term, and then what Trump is doing now, because
Okay,
that's the claim,
well,
right?
let me
It's not
explain it
looking back at her
because you
crime
admitted
record.
that you don't know what
Her
this is.
prosecutorial record.
Okay, exculpatory evidence is when a prosecution team
I
and their
know what
investigators,
exculpatory evidence
yes,
is.
when they find actual evidence
Yeah.
that that man they're trying to convict is innocent,
Okay.
and they withhold
And if you
it,
have a specific
that's
anecdote,
akin
I'm
to
uninterested.
child molestation.
I'm uninterested.
You're uninterested that she did
in a
this?
specific anecdote that I'm not familiar with. But what I would
But
like
I
to
just
talk
told you
about
what it
is
is.
the
She
policy
withheld
record.
evidence
Yeah, and
that was
so that we can have,
exculpatory,
so that
so
we can
she could
have
convict an
so that
innocent
we can
person and
have
did it 4
an
times.
informed conversation. We have to operate on things that we both
Okay, may I
feel are
continue?
relevant
May I
to the
continue?
discourse. And so I'm asking you,
Yes.
compare some of the stuff you've heard, whether it's crime, economic approaches, infrastructure.
This is what
record.
deems her unfit to
What-
hold office.
No.
She
I didn't
literally
say, we're not debating her fitness for office. We're debating would she perform better as President Trump?
Absolutely
'Cause if we
not
wanna-
when she's doing
if-
things like
If we want to
this.
talk about fitness for office, we could go through all the reasons I think Trump's unfit. But I'm
Would-
talking about
you
his
asked
record.
if Kamala
I'm
Harris would
talking
make
about
a
his
better
record.
president.
I'm talking about the record instead and the
I am
policies.
talking about
So
the
speak to
record.
the
And then while she was
policies.
attorney general in the state of California,
Speak
she created a
to-
constitutional
okay.
crisis when she flat out defied a Supreme Court order for 2 years
So we're against
that
that?
was supposed to release 5,000 nonviolent inmates. Hold on. It doesn't matter what's about 5,000 inmates from cruel and unusual
Great.
conditions.
So are
she
we-
defied the largest and most powerful court system in
So
our
we're-
whole country.
We're against then defying the courts.
She did that.
Are we against defying the courts?
Absolutely.
Well, Trump has done it dozens of times.
Trump fights the courts because they're trying to convict him,
Wait,
and they have
don't
fake
have a
prosecutions popping up everywhere.
Don't have a double standard. While he's been president,
What did he do? What did he
for
do?
example,
what did he do?
Andrew Hernandez Romero, he rotted away in an El Salvadoran prison. He had a lawful asylum claim. He had gone to the border checkpoint. He wasn't breaking the law, and he got
He was here illegally.
No, he wasn't.
He broke the
wasn't.
law when he crossed
wasn't.
the
Y'all don't
border.
even know this case. You're thinking of the
He's
wrong
an
person.
MS-13
You're thinking of
gang-
the wrong person.
You're
You're
not
wrong
talking about Rego
him.
Garcia?
No, I just told you his name. Andres. His
I don't
name.
even, I never heard of him.
Okay, see?
Just like you said, you've never heard what Kamala did.
Oh, great. So Trump defied court orders in deporting this batch of prisoners. And one of them, Andrew, who I'm telling you about, Romero, ended up getting sexually abused in this prison, was completely wrongfully sent, was innocent.
Oh, he wasn't an illegal alien?
No.
Oh.
He went legally
When
to the
you're
border
trying to
checkpoint.
deport 20
And
million
so
people,
you're gonna-
sometimes
you're
a
gonna
few
get some
things
people
happen.
sexually
When you're
abused
trying to
because you
get
defy-
20 million
That
illegal
wouldn't have
aliens that
happened-
your president
that
let
would
in,
not have
shit
happened.
happens.
That would not have happened if it weren't for Trump abiding by the courts, which you just told me you thought was important when it came to
That's
Kamala Harris.
one little instance.
Okay, pause.
One little instance.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority mark. Please return to your seat.
Hello, sir. Hey, we got a new one.
Got a new one, yeah. So the claim is about
Kamala Harris would have been a better president.
Would have been a president.
And I've laid out Biden's infrastructure law, things like that were good, created jobs. His Inflation Reduction Act was good, created jobs, lowered prescription drug costs. Meh, 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 meh.
All right, I'd like to take you one higher.
And
pick up the mic from Charlie Kirk and say, not only would she have not made a good president, she was a total DEI candidate.
How do you mean that?
Well, let's go back.
No. How do you mean that?
A DEI candidate?
Do you think that
a DEI candidate is somebody who is not picked for a role because of their meritocracy?
Okay.
They're picked only for random characteristics, their skin
All right.
color, their sexual
Right.
orientation.
So you're saying
Right,
that
yeah.
because she's a black woman, that's why she was picked?
Exactly.
So, okay,
100%.
okay,
She
wait,
was
wait,
picked
wait,
to be vice president
wait.
because she was
So
a black woman.
So tell me.
She wasn't even the best black woman to be
tell me,
that could have
tell
been
me,
picked.
Why is it not enough qualifications to be a DA, then an attorney general, then a senator, then a vice president?
Why was she more
You
qualified
think
than
that's-
Stacey Abrams?
If you're going to make such a
Right?
claim,
Right.
let's actually try to litigate it. She has more qualifications than most people who have
Than
ever run for
Stacey
president.
Abrams.
It doesn't mean I thought she was a
Then
great,
Pete
perfect
Buttigieg.
candidate.
Then Bernie
Wait,
Sanders.
stop there, please. Buttigieg. He has been a mayor and the transportation secretary. Kamala Harris has been a DA, an attorney general, a senator, and a vice president. So
She was a senator and a vice president because she was a DEI candidate. She was Peter's principal. She was just put through the
Okay,
ranks.
I mean, you're just throwing
it was
that
just
out
like,
there.
hey, Kamala, we got a good news for you. You've got a corner office now.
and you're just
Kamala, good
you're
news.
just saying
you're
that.
now on the campaign poster.
You're just saying that with absolutely no evidence.
What happened in 2020?
Biden beat Trump.
No. In February of 2020, South Carolina primary, right?
Biden gets a bunch of
No, it was a
support.
test of the black vote.
Yeah, cool.
Right? Who won the black vote?
Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yes, I
Suddenly,
know.
everybody
Why
dropped
are we
out.
going through his
Everybody
election? I know
dropped
this
out.
already.
Everybody.
They all supported him. Then he went off against Bernie.
That's
Lawrence
right.
stayed in the race.
And
Ugh.
I knew that day that he won. I said.
That's amazing.
In fact,
What
you know
does
what?
that have to do with-
I made a little meme and put it on Twitter. I said,
Okay.
by 2020, Biden and some black lady. And sure enough, the only people that were talked about as candidates for his vice president
great.
role
And then-
were Stacey
and then-
Abrams and Kamala Harris.
And then we picked the best option, and he hurt our economy, and he attacked our democratic
We're not talking
institutions.
about Biden. We're not
No, I'm
talking
saying
about
Trump. I'm saying Trump.
We're talking about Kamala.
No, would be a better president than Trump is the claim. So we have to compare them. And you know what? I think
So
I think
Trump
a stuffed
actually-
animal would be a better president than Trump.
Trump was actually a guy
Let's compare those.
who went one by one in his party. When he first launched his campaign in 2015,
This literally
he was given,
has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
it
Zip.
is exactly what
It's
it is.
not.
Yes, it is. Because it all comes down to whether she had the merit to even be a vice president. All
Oh my
you
gosh.
looking at her resume and saying, yeah, she was this, she worked here, she went, yeah. And then you're going like, well, that's why she was going to be a great president, because she had all these little things behind her.
You're wired up. Let me just quickly say, I never said she'd be a great president. I have a
You
bunch
s-
of.
you
wait,
said
wait,
she'd be a better
wait,
president than
wait,
Trump. You're
wait,
right.
Just wait.
All right.
I have a bunch of my own policy differences, and I probably would have had a lot of critiques for her. But my point is, any slightly competent, middle of the road, anyone, it could be a kid, and they would be a better president just listening to their advisors than Trump would.
Well, let me say for one thing. Earlier on, you said that MAGA people are not patriots.
The
I will say
ideology's
this.
not, yeah.
Right. Now, let me give you a definition of patriotism.
Okay.
That'll just settle the
This is
debate.
weird. We
It'll settle
shifted.
the debate.
You can't-
No. I'm bringing this in.
Do you think Trump should have passed that bill?
No.
Ripping
Let
Medicaid
me
away?
finish my point.
Okay.
Trump is a better president because he's a better patriot, because a patriot is willing to die for his or her country. And Trump got tested in that very fact. There was an
Someone tried to
attempted
kill him. Yeah,
assassination,
yeah,
right?
I know, that was bad.
Right, and he got up.
Yeah.
And Charlie Kirk was
he did
killed.
this, yeah.
Do you think Kamala Harris, in your heart of hearts, is willing to die for her country, or she's just willing to do whatever favors she can do to rise up the food chain? You tell me, in your heart of hearts,
do you
would
notice?
would you be in a foxhole with Donald Trump or in a foxhole with Kamala Harris?
Anyone but Trump.
You'd be
Are you kidding
anybody
me?
but Trump?
Yes.
You're
a
going to rely
foxhole?
on Kamala Harris to fight a fight with you?
He had an option to go into the foxholes, and he lied multiple times to not get drafted. I don't think he was the bravest warrior. Was it pretty epic whenever he got shot and stood up and did this? It was.
It was. It was. It
Well,
was
guess
epic.
what?
It was
That is
epic.
very different than being a good president. As we're seeing now, the economy's getting worse. The social tensions
you
are
saying
getting
the
worse.
economy's
Our
getting
democratic
worse?
institution. We
How
lost
you-
jobs for the first time since his first presidency.
Do you know that a curve that goes up kind of goes up and down and up
Okay,
and down
pause.
before it goes up?
Pause. You've been voted out.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Lou, it's a
Hi.
pleasure to meet you. I'm
Hey.
James.
Hey, James.
All right, what's the client?
Kamala Harris will be a better president than Donald Trump. Please try to stay to the topic.
All right, I'll give you 12 million plus reasons.
Okay.
She was supposed to have been the border czar, right? What is that? What
She
is,
actually wasn't technically that, but I get she was trying to work on the root causes.
what was she supposed to do as the border czar? Don't you think she should have gone to the border?
Yeah, and actually it was pretty interesting. There was a big mess up. I agree. I actually have
What do you
critiques.
mean mess up?
I have critiques of the Biden administration's border policy on some fronts, but if you notice, there was a huge drop as the last year of their presidency because
The last year,
it started
because
be-
she was trying to get
and
elected.
Kamala Harris had a much more rigid approach to the
Do you
border.
know how many people have
which
to
she
come
was
through
running
the
on.
border
But-
every day in
but-
4 years
But
to equal 12
we're
million?
comparing
Over
and contrasting,
7,000
right?
people
We're
a
comparing.
day.
You
Wait a
actually
minute.
have the wrong numbers.
No, I
but
don't.
Yeah,
It's over
You're counting
7,000.
border encounters. The number of people who actually stay in
Okay,
the country
well,
is like
let's cut it
a
in
million,
two.
2
Let's cut
million.
it in two. Oh, that's bullshit.
It's not.
Well,
You're counting border encounters, but guess what? They kept turning people around and deporting them.
well, who
They
did?
did.
Who did?
The Biden administration.
What do you mean the Biden? You mean the border patrol, right?
Yeah, under the Biden
border
administration.
patrol was told to do what by who?
They were turning a lot of people around.
Who was told
They
to
were
do that?
Deporting people.
Who told the border patrol to turn these people around, and then they keep coming back again and again?
DHS Secretary Biden. I mean, it's a whole government policy.
Where did 12 million plus people come from?
They didn't.
So there aren't 12 million
No.
illegal people in the country.
Oh, they're not from the Biden administration. There are from decades, but
Okay,
Yeah.
during the Biden administration,
Yeah.
how many people?
I told you estimates range from 1 to 3.
That's ridiculous. What did you
no,
come up
if you
with
do
it?
the math between how many people came, how many people were deported, how many people never came but were just encountered, that's the estimate.
That is
I've seen.
totally false. Where do you get? I don't know where you get your numbers
Yeah,
from. If
you
you,
can look
ask
it
the
up.
Border Patrol,
But
if you
regardless-
ask, do you know who Tom Holman is?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Well, yeah, but he disagrees with you. Disagrees.
I'm sure he does.
Entirely.
I'm sure he does.
He's been there since 1984, since Reagan
Cool.
has been there.
So how-
right? And he said that your statistics are bullshit.
I'm sure.
And I think you know they're bullshit.
No, they're not. But
I
as
think you do.
border crossings dropped, Kamala Harris had a much more aggressive. That's why she was supportive of that really strong border bill that got shot down by Republicans. She would have carried that over
Why-
next
why-
time.
why didn't they do- okay,
And she
Trump-
wouldn't be violating court
Trump
orders and
closed the-
illegally
Trump
deporting
closed-
people.
Trump closed
and
the
instead we'll keep it
plaza.
more legal process.
Pause. You've been voted out. Please return to
All
your
right,
seat.
good night, Thank you.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Damaris.
Nice to meet you.
2 Bible names.
Okay, so where would you like to start? Economy, crime. A lot of y'all don't want to talk about Trump's record, which is interesting, because my argument
No,
is I think there would have been all
finish your
sorts of
thought.
problems.
Finish
I think
your
that-
first
I
thought.
will. I think there would have been all sorts of problems with Kamala Harris' presidency. I'm critical of any powerful person, but any standard politician would have been better than Trump, who's doing a retribution presidency. He's prioritizing gutting the FBI of anyone who ever worked on a case that he didn't like over having the proper expertise in the FBI. Obviously, as I've explained a lot, his landmark agenda is a horrific reverse Robin Hood.
Okay.
So all those reasons, just someone who wouldn't do those things would be better.
Stable data. I will agree that all of those are talking points that we hear all the time in the media. And to hear you regurgitating them today without any foundational facts is really interesting. Because Trump is the work at the FBI. Let's take that.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Trump supporters were not patriotic.
I did.
But in the United States, there is rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
So would you agree with me that if an FBI agent subverted the rule of law in order to go after Trump supporters they came for grandmas on January 6th. Grandmas, little old ladies who walked in the door once, arrested grandmothers, okay? They went to Mar-a-Lago and staged the documents to make sure that Trump.
Okay.
That,
Well, now you've just made a wildly inaccurate
there's
claim.
no, there
There-
is.
They took a photo.
I can
with
give
the
you- no,
those
I can
documents
give
were
you-
his. He obstructed the process of getting them back.
Okay, so
That's wrong.
Were
And
you
the
aware?
FBI
Excuse
agents-
me.
Yeah, go.
Are you aware that the only reason why they knew what documents they were looking for was because those documents were actually already on file in the Library of Congress?
So-
they knew exactly what
So Trump
they were.
was
his
holding
papers.
on to. They
They
were not
his papers.
okay,
Yes.
But I mean, this doesn't really have to do with how good of a president he is compared to Kamala. But
you
I think,
went at the FBI, so I'm taking you on
no,
that.
I'm giving you examples that when you start prioritizing retribution over common sense pro-working class policies, I think that's bad for America.
Where
and
were
none
Kamala's
of you,
common sense
none of
pro-working
you,
class
yeah,
policies?
like the
Where?
Inflation Reduction Act, I think was really good. I think the infrastructure bill
Inflation
was
over
really good.
9% was good.
We brought down, after that bill, inflation faster than all of our G7 counterparts.
You know what? You're again.
You see? So that's a data
no. Again,
driven point, and you're not aware of it.
You were again
so
going.
some of y'all should do some introspection that you don't know a lot of basic economic data points that should inform your understanding of the economy.
Luke, what you're doing is regurgitating things. You are
I'm
not
not.
stating facts. Regurgitation is not the same
It's
thing
interesting.
as a
You're
fact.
projecting a lot what you're doing.
I am
'cause
not
I'm giving
projecting
you,
anything.
Like people get upset when I give like crime stats or inflation stats, or I give you numbers on how much is being cut from Medicaid over the next decade. That's numbers. That's
no,
not.
that's
not
regurgitation.
I mean,
you
it's
haven't stated any numbers. You just
$1
said
trillion over the next decade is being cut from Medicaid because of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's a data point.
$1 trillion of fraud. $1 trillion of fraud.
Why are rural hospitals closing down?
Why
then?
did okay
No.
okay?
Why are they shutting down
okay.
because of this bill? They're
Did
citing
you-
this bill specifically.
Did you hear about the group out of Russia, the
You just-
international group that was
Wait.
caught with fraudulent Medicare claims?
You just accused me of regurgitating things I don't understand. Then you don't seem aware of the data points that prove rural hospitals are shutting down because of this bill.
Which
That's
rural
not
hospitals?
good. In Georgia.
No.
and
Don't
Elsewhere.
tell
I
me
don't,
which
you think I
ones.
have memorized the exact name of every hospital that's shutting down?
Because
That's
I don't
crazy.
think it's happening.
That's crazy.
Here's the thing, sir.
Look it up afterwards. Look up.
No.
Rural hospitals closed.
The
Trump's big
senators who
beautiful
voted,
bill.
the senators who
You
voted.
don't have to defend that.
I'm not defending it. You're stating it. I'm not agreeing with it. There's a difference.
Well, go look up the facts of the bill. It's in the bill.
Okay, pause. We're out of time. Please return to your seat.
Rosalind. I chose Rosalind because I thought we had a fun time talking last time.
My claim is that the reason the left lost the election is because they don't understand the American people.
Okay, I mean, to an extent, I don't like that the Democratic Party doesn't seem tapped in enough to the needs of the American people. And so I would agree with that in a sense. I just don't understand how contrasted against the Trump administration, you think that he understands the American people's needs. He understands how to campaign to them, like him saying grocery prices go down on day one, or I'm gonna be good for the working class, and then he does the exact opposite. The NLRB he's been attacking the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the very institutions that protect the little guy, not to mention, I'm gonna keep bringing it up, but this horrific bill that he passed, that's his whole agenda, is just a pro-elite bill. And so I see him as someone who understands how to campaign to the American people. Maybe the Democrats struggle at campaigning to the American people, and they have some issues with why that is. But Trump then turns around and screws them over and betrays them.
How often do you go grocery shopping?
Weekly?
Seriously?
Yeah, weekly.
Okay. You live in California?
No, Austin, Texas.
Okay. So I live in Chicago. We saw a huge reduction in egg prices, just for an example, because everybody was yelling about eggs because they had gotten exorbitant under Joseph Biden. So egg prices have been halved. Oil prices have come down. So what I'm paying at the pump is so much less. I am paying right now about $1.75 a gallon less than I was during Joe Biden.
So grocery prices, in general, have gone up. They've gone up, notably. We had one of the sharpest increases in the last period of time.
What
that we've
period
had
of
the last
time?
month, I think it was last month. So we're seeing sharp increases in grocery prices. That's just true in general. Maybe you can have specific anecdotes where they're not, but that is true nationwide. And while you're right that gas prices have gone down for a bunch of macroeconomic reasons and supply and demand, et cetera.
It's because he opened up the spigot.
Here's why. Energy prices in general have gone up significantly since his presidency started. It's true. So
it's actually gone down.
I mean, they have a fact-checking process. They can probably put it up.
And demand.
It's true. That's why Trump started
Anytime
screaming.
you open up supply.
Yeah, so Biden was overseeing the highest oil production in American history.
You know, you can massage numbers. You can massage
true.
numbers all you want.
It's true. Y'all gonna go
okay?
look these things up afterwards. It's so
Numbers
silly.
get massaged,
The
and I'm going to say
largest
this:
oil
there's
production in
a
American
effort
history.
behind
And
them.
then, you made a good point about supply and demand. Trump, because he's so obsessed with like windmills are crazy, we hate windmills, and he's actually been attacking renewable energy, which is one of the contributing factors to energy prices going up. If you look at all of energy, wholesale energy, which is true. Look it up after.
So renewable energy depends upon, guess what? Guess what?
The sun,
It
the wind,
depends upon oil.
nuclear.
All renewable energy depends
That's not
upon
true.
oil. Yes,
That's true.
it's very true. But here's what we have to understand, and that's this. Prices have gone down in oil because anytime you say, I'm going to open up what Biden has turned off, and every time Congress, every time he attempts to do something that is related to a promise he made to the American people, they jump and try to sue him. This man has been sued more than any other president for just trying to make the American experience better.
So do you notice?
That is
everyone wants to clap.
patriotism.
Good job. Okay. Do you know? What's so interesting here is that a lot of y'all have been convinced that it's me who's been propagandized, or I'm going off of regurgitated talking points. But that whole speech there was Trump is fighting for the American people. There's no substance there. And I'm giving you substance, the actual data on energy prices. You're right that specifically gas has gone down, but otherwise,
I'm sorry, could you say
your
that
electricity
again?
bill,
Specifically, what
gas
did you
has
say?
gone down, but
Gas has gone
energy
down.
has gone up in general. And it's true that it couldn't have been because Biden turned off the spigot, because oil production was at record highs in the United States, domestic oil production under Biden.
What did he close down day one?
We were energy independent under Joe Biden, actually.
What did he
which is
close
interesting,
down
'cause,
day one?
You're gonna have to go check this. We were.
What did he
producing
close
more than
down
we were-
day one?
and
what's,
then,
what's the pipeline
and
called?
then
Keystone Pipeline.
that was wildly
and more.
unconsequential
He
compared
went
to
into-
the broader data. So what's interesting is I'm saying I don't really care about, I'm going to do this rally. Kamala Harris would be the best president. That's dumb. Instead, I'm just going to give you clear data points. But then y'all go and get upset, and then just give me a regurgitated thing, like on what we just referenced, which is oil production. No one is aware of that fact, which is scary that you've been convinced about a lie about that, and that right now he's causing your household energy bills to go up, and you don't care because you want to play into the culture war of we got to take down the windmills or whatever.
Here's what's very important. It's not just about President Trump. It's about this country. It's about the things that we do that are so important that are going to aid every single person sitting here.
Like taking away their health care?
Okay, let's talk about that whole health care thing.
Why would anyone here support that bill?
People who are illegally on the health care dole,
If you
and
look
you
at,
take them out,
if you actually
you're going to
talk,
be better off.
If you actually talk to the experts, healthcare providers, and independent analyses of how many people you could find that are on Medicaid illegally or don't actually qualify, it doesn't come close to the number of people that would be necessary to find $1 trillion in the budget, which is what they're doing. So they're convincing you it's undocumented immigrants, it's a lazy trans person, but it's actually gonna be low-income Americans who fully qualify, but because of all the hurdles they're putting in place and all the cuts that they're making, they're going to lose their health care. While
Why
the
is
largest
your
tax cut
side
for wealthy
against
people ever.
us saving money? Don't you know in your household,
I want to
if
save.
you don't save
You know what
money,
I want to do?
you will not be able to
Okay,
pay your
so-
biggest bill,
so-
which is where you
All right,
live.
Let's think about this. I hope all of you really hear this because this is not a partisan point. Trump got really cozy. I know you've all seen this with the billionaires. At his inauguration, it was Bezos, it was Zuckerberg, it was whoever, Elon. And then he ends up putting into his, it's not cost saving, it's fiscal irresponsibility to cut taxes for the wealthiest Americans to pay for an attack on the working class. That's what it is. And it balloons the debt. Do we all agree we should get our debt crisis under control?
We have to.
Then why does it add $4 to
not
$5
optional.
trillion to the debt?
Here's the biggest
Answer
problem.
that. Why does
with
nobody answer my
You know
questions?
what? We are. But unfortunately, you have your own agenda. But we're trying to answer
So then you tell me how much does it increase the
let me
debt?
tell
How
you
much does it increase the
something.
debt then?
Here is the problem. Is
Answer that
Trump
question.
the savior of the world?
No, I'm not doing
no,
another- I'm
he's
not
not.
doing- I
He's
can't
not
hear
the
another, like,
savior of the
general
world.
rally
But you
rant.
want to know something? He is not the savior of the world. But
I
I say
know.
he is far better than anything you could come
But
up
wait,
with
wait,
on that
focus.
side. They don't know money. The majority of them have never run a business. I would rather be with a president that has a business, who knows how to make a dollar, who knows what it's like to have to pay
Do you
bills.
notice? Do you see? I wish everyone would notice this. I just want to talk about the numbers. If you have an alternative analysis, wait. If you have an alternative analysis of how much will be added to the debt because of Trump's one big beautiful bill, then you can present that, but you don't. So I give you a number based on independent analyses, and you respond with, Trump's not our savior, but he's gonna make us better. That doesn't mean anything.
There are analysis
present
of
the counter
that
data
bill,
points.
the big beautiful bill.
Present them.
There are analysis of it that say the exact opposite.
If
Guess
they're
what?
from CarolineLevitt.com.
We won't know until it happens. Your side says, oh,
Why do you think-
it's going to be horrible.
Why do you
Our
think
side says,
poor-
no, it's not.
Why do you think poor rural hospitals in red areas are saying we have to shut down now?
I'll tell you
Because
exactly
of this
why.
bill.
Because we have this wonderful other bill called Obamacare that drove healthcare through the roof. It shut down hospitals. It made doctors go out of. How do you like that? Used to be that a doctor was the best, most cared for job.
Wait.
They couldn't even stay in business. We're
wait,
turning
wait.
ourselves
Listen,
into Canada.
Everyone listen. You're saying the rural hospitals are lying and saying that Trump's bill and the cutting of federal funds is why they have to shut down, but that's because of Obama?
Have you been talking to all of the rural hospitals? They're all around the country. I don't
I have.
think you came
I've gone
here
to every single
with a report from all of the rural hospitals. I don't think
I
you
did.
did. No, there's no way. You know why? Because there's not that consensus yet. Because here's the problem. Is that anytime you say we're going to give away free health care, there's no such word as free. Somebody has to pay it.
Wait.
Somebody.
Again, this will be my last point. It's so weird to say we don't have the money to pay for XYZ when we're adding to the debt with this bill. So we're going into debt to pay for these tax cuts. We're going into debt more than any single bill in American history. That's how much this is added to the debt. So it's not about fiscal responsibility. It's about helping out his billionaire buddies who were on that inauguration stage with him and a gutting of working class benefits.
You don't need to find $1 trillion in savings when we have several trillion that are being introduced into our economy by other countries.
And we discussed that before.
So you don't have to. Not only that, one more point. Trump negotiated, like I said, I'm not in love with the man, but I'm going to tell you something. He did good stuff. He negotiated 7 peace deals between 14 countries. Would Kamala have done that? Kamala would not have.
Can you name them?
I can actually name them. As soon as we're done, I'll show them to you on my phone, the whole list. That way I get a picture with you for my grandkids.
We'll get a photo.
Okay, pause. We're out of time.
They were spunky. It was, to be honest, infuriating, a lot of the conversations, because it's so difficult when you're coming from such different planets.
Now I'm in a box and you're in a box and they're in a box, that you don't have this genuine energy that you feel when you're exchanging ideas with someone. And you don't disagree by saying, you're an idiot. You disagree by saying no and begging them to listen.
So many things have been misunderstood because you don't have all the facts. The moment information becomes unpolitical and it's just information, I think it's going to be good for the left, the right, and everybody in between.
The heartening part is, as I think we picked up a little bit on camera, there was still a good common recognition of our shared humanity.
Could you name a former Democrat president you'd want to be in a foxhole with?
Any of the greatest generation ones, JFK, Jimmy Carter. I think Jimmy Carter would have my back.